Hi, welcome to Roast Mortem, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom.
I am a Travis.
Oh, I am your Cody for this evening here.
And Mike is at a birthday party for a white supremacist, so he couldn't come up.
Again.
Well, David Duke, happy birthday, David Duke. You turned 666 years old.
Wow, that's up there.
I wouldn't question it. And it's not because I think he's a lizard. I just don't think he knows anything about what years are. He might be counting months, changing the metric all the time. So that's it. Travis, how was your week?
Whoa!
Oh, yeah. I get to talk about my week first. I got a lot of plants. I've got so many of plants.
What's going on?
Ivy plants in my house now.
Did you get vinca?
I have a peace plant.
What's that?
Vinca?
No,
What's a vinca?
Vinca is a type of vine. It's an evergreen vine.
I don't have that. I have one that's had leaves on it, dude.
Sick.
I've got a ZZ top plant.
Travis, I love
ZZ plant.
how you're looking behind you, but because your Skype background is just hentai, it looks like you're checking your hentai for your plants inventory.
Well, you know, the vagina is like a beautiful flower. Oh, also,
okay.
I got in the audio, for all you audiophiles out there, in order to use headphones on some of these, like, inputs, oh, boy, that's a flower right back there, Tom.
I, too, can put hentai behind myself. Continue, Travis. What were you saying? You had me...
Skype.
So if you're an audiophile, you know that there's a difference between a quarter-inch and an eighth-inch jack.
Of course.
I have a little adapter for my headphones that go to a quarter-inch, boy. Shit broke off in my fucking machine.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh.
Took me 3 hours to get the fucking thing out.
What are you doing? Using your tweezers or something?
Yeah, I got these little tweezy boys I use for jerking off, thankfully. And
Why didn't you just open it and push it out from the inside?
that's what I did, but it was because of the way the board was. Like, there was like this little tiny hole in the board, and I had to like get this thing perfectly through. It was... Let me tell you, if you're into pornography, that's just people being frustrated and trying not to sweat onto electronics. That was it.
All right.
Wow, future predicting for this episode. Thank you, Travis.
Would it be fair to say you had a clumsy week then?
Well, I planted the plants really well. There's a lot of dirt in my kitchen now, but I wouldn't call that clumsy. Cody, how was your week?
My week was just fine. Did the fucking research for this episode. Most of the week, fuck, I don't have anything. I was hoping something would click, like a poop joke or something before. I hit nothing, but
Cody's big on the bowel movements. How's your BMs?
no, this is you question, fucking Swiss quiz vlogger.
Yeah, but you're talking about more, dude. You're talking about like your butthole going on the toilet.
Oh yeah, like stoking a cigarette on a toilet. Just they've been just fine, Travis. Thanks for asking, man.
Tom, how's your BMs?
My
And by that I
BMs?
mean your week.
My how do you break that down? My big moments. I'll call a week my big moments.
Yeah, Tom's big
Oh,
moment.
I've been hungover every day this week. I'm hungover right now. I don't feel
What you
good.
been doing?
I've been drinking.
It's like 8:00 there.
I wake up. I'm upset because
I understand.
Everything is happening. That
Everything is
I have a
happening
drink,
at once.
It lightens the blow, and then I lay in my bed for hours watching My Name is Earl.
Oh, that's
And
good stuff.
It's a very funny show. I highly recommend that one. It's if Jason Lee was a real man, he would be Earl that he plays in that show.
Yeah.
So,
And you also have his first name would be Travis, because that's a real man.
okay, well,
Yeah.
let's talk about real men tonight.
Yeah.
Talk about real men. So yeah, no, I definitely felt like a real man tonight. Because that part of being a real man is being hungover more often than not.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah, that's why you gotta get
sentiments.
more plants when you're hungover. You just gotta breathe in them.
Travis, you don't want me to start talking about how many plants I planted this week.
Oh boy.
I will put your ZZ top plant and your baby vines to shame. So I'm not going to. I'm going to spare you the embarrassment.
All
Yeah,
right,
man.
well, I'm just saying, start breathing on for your hangovers. Cody, who's hungover, meaning been dead for a while, meaning who we go roast with it.
All right. We're doing the one and the only Percy Aldrich Grainger tonight. And the easiest way to think about this, gentlemen, is if Willy Wonka was into music instead of candy and was also a kinky racist.
Kinky racist, right?
So
yeah,
that's
not a regular one.
That's just Willy
Kinky one.
Wonka. He kept those small people around and played flute for him.
Yes, he was definitely culturally insensitive.
Yeah. Does this guy have a flute? He's a musician.
Do you
He's
remember?
a musician.
You remember the remake where Johnny Depp was Charles? No, he was Will Wonka.
Willy.
He was Willy.
William.
And then they had that one Indian guy playing all the Oompa Loompas. Which
how
further
could that be
reinforced
bad?
racial stereotypes that all
Yeah.
Indian people look the same. I don't agree with that, but that's what that movie did.
Yeah, I also think that John Depp was just on all of the cocaine for that movie.
I can only hope that Indian people think white people look the same, so there's no harm. Continue,
Yeah.
Cody.
So before we jump into the thick of it, this is a bit of a special episode. This is a listener research assist episode. I'm very happy with the results and I'm excited to share them with you. So big thanks to listener Nick Fanili for assisting with the research. We'll plug his site, faniliusmusic.com. That's FAGNILLIOUS music.com. So before everyone starts cramming their own research in our sopping wet research box. Few rules.
Cody, why are you talking about my week?
Shut
Shoving research into my research box.
Yeah. So before you feed our research box, any such research, don't go. Number one, don't go after big fish. Don't be like, I got factoids on Hitler. We got it. It'll come. Be patient.
Did you know that Stalin was a very, very, very bad man?
Right.
Hitler was a vegetarian and an art student. Did you know that?
Got it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we did.
What Cody is trying to say right now, that if you're going to write a script for us, or even pretend to write some notes for us.
We want bullets and outlines, actually.
We don't want any of it. What we want is to molest you. Because you're trying to take our identity. And we need to beat that out of you. So,
Okay.
Nick, thank you so much for withstanding the force that we gave to you over this weekend.
Uh-huh.
I got really scared because I thought Nick was taking my identity. So somebody put my eyeballs into a cooler, and then giant little robot gnats came down the hallway, and I realized that was Tom Cruise, and I cried.
Okay, so
fuck?
thanks to Nick, because
Thanks to Nick.
he's done our first
Yep.
what are you calling this, an assist, Cody? What word would you use?
Listener assisted research episode. Layer. I already came up with the abbreviation and everything.
First layer episode.
Yeah. So no big fish in the pond. Don't do serial killers. Roast mortem ain't true crime. Ain't nobody have time for that. And bullet points and outlines with links preferred if you want to help us out. But you do you, we'll do us regardless. All right. You guys settled in? You ready for this wild ride?
I'll never be settled in. I have too much going on for me. So yes, just do it.
I'm ready to face the music. See, I did there, doing a musician, right?
You were so happy you nailed that.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
Percy Aldrich Grainger, born July 8th, 1882, in Melbourne, Australia. Tom, get ready to do the thing.
Oh, all right.
Wait, so this is our first Australian?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
But
No.
that was Tom. Tom's been doing Australian accents for the longest time.
Possibly
Were those all
uncalled
off
for.
the cuff? Yeah, were those all
Tom's
uncalled
doing
for?
Australian accents for like Germans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I just have this
Good day,
humongous
Dunkel.
skew? Yeah. So am I just mistaken in thinking like 80% of history was done by an Australian because of this podcast?
Possibly. We did one Australian, but I forgot his name. Continue, Cody.
Melbourne, Australia. Percy was born into the most mentally ill, modernish family I've ever researched, actually. So we can all relate on some small level, I'm sure.
Are you talking like Malcolm in the Middle mentally ill? Because he did Breaking Bad.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, you be the judge.
Say my name, bitch. Pinkman.
That's me. Though his mother was an atheist, during her pregnancy, she would assemble an altar consisting of busts of the Greek gods and focus the gaze of each bust onto the in utero Percy. This was done in hopes of channeling some type of divine talent into the fetus.
Wait, she's shoving Greek goddesses up her hooch?
No, Travis. She's like making a altar, putting the faces of statues of Greek gods, and then angling them all so like they're looking and concentrating on the fetus that is Percy.
Right.
Wait, but they can't see through the belly.
Travis, you're believing already in a universe where there's Greek gods, like Zeus is having sex with cows. You're not questioning that, but the belly, there's...
It's a physical manifestation of insanity. Altars.
Greek gods looking at a uterus, and this isn't too long ago, and this isn't Greece. This is fucking 1882 Australia.
They probably have a lot of gyros there, or gyros, depending on how much of trash you are.
They have bin chickens.
Bin chickens, careful.
Bin chicken gyro.
So Percy's father was a functioning alcoholic, architect/painter. Frequently, he'd abandon his family to go on 3 to 4 day benders. He'd usually be found sleeping in his favorite gutter. Like that type of alcoholic. It was one of those abusive family situations where the drunken dad smacked around the mom and the mom smacked around the kid when, he misbehaved. The term is corporal punishment, but it's, just dandy in the old family life for Percy throughout his very early years.
Okay. Rock and roll.
This is how childhood.
In a stunningly confusing move, Daddy Dearest leaves his family for good, moving to England in order to get sober.
Good day.
Like what? Like that?
That's the last
going
place
to England?
You go.
Yeah. Why are you doing that?
You could go to Germany. Germany would be a bad place for that too, because they're really they drink a lot, and they also shun themselves there. Actually, go to Germany because while they do drink a lot, they also hate themselves.
Wait, but this is pre-hate themselves. This is like the 1800s. This is when they thought they were the shit.
Hating themselves goes very far back. Very far back.
So he's like, I got to get away from my family. Go to England to get away from the beer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That makes as much sense as gills on a potato. Presumably, on his way out the door, he bid a final goodbye to his wife and was like, by the way, I have a side chick that gave me syphilis. Go get yourself checked when you can.
Little syphilis, my brain gonna melt like Red Lobster biscuits. What up?
You know the game.
We've talked about untreated syphilis several times on the podcast.
Oh, baby.
And what's so great about it is that it will give you texture. It's a lumpy disease. It'll rip your skin apart. You'll go insane. And I don't know what else you would want.
It
Drippy
really
cocks?
is the gift that keeps on giving. It's like every
everyone wants
kiss
to be
begins with S.
Right.
Syphilis.
We all want to be special. Why not allow a disease to separate us from the other people?
Mm-hmm.
Get a disease.
Fuck penicillin.
Mm-hmm.
I hate science.
Lose your job and go on state Medicare. Tell me how it's going.
Wait, so Cody, I have bated breath right now. Does little baby Percy got that little weird?
This, very good, Travis. This syphilis revelation freaked out, the mother because she's like, oh my God. Not, oh my God, because she's going to die from syphilis and her, heads are going to fall out. She was like, oh, my son is a product of not immaculate conception. Is he going to be some kind of syphilitic mutant when he grows up? But thankfully, no, this was not the case. Percy did not have syphilis, nor did he get any developmental issues because of his mom being syphilitic during conception.
I bet he was so pissed off because, he probably wanted to go to school and be like, guess what, guys? Got syphilis. Yeah, that's right. I fucks.
He's been in a vagina, technically.
They're like, wait, you're a little bit too young for that. He's like, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, check out this drippy penis. So mother didn't happen, nothing to fruition, but mother constantly worried little Percy was going to be like a little syphilitic semen demon growing up. But because she was worried, she became one of the worst helicopter parents of history, just making sure he's always okay, like nearly inseparable, like super crazy, smothering, psychological, deep-rooted fuckery afoot here with this relationship.
Is she like the equivalence to Asian Dr. Lipschitz?
Wow. What a fucking reference and a half there.
Yeah, have fun with
yes.
that.
Yeah, let's say yes. I got one of them Asian mothers. They're crazy. This is like 80-fold an Asian mother. Like, ooh, bad.
Wow. That's I'm surprised she didn't choke that kid out immediately.
Wow. So
Good old coming-of-age Australian boy.
You're doing it wrong.
Yep, that's pretty much probably how Rose, her name is Rose, sounded when she talked to Percy. They had super strict, like guidelines. If she wasn't smothering him, she was doing a little of the corporal punishment for, even the slightest misstep Percy would do. And our boy Percy would be spanked by his mother throughout his early years. Spoilers, it would only taper off when he was like 16 fucking years old.
Wow.
Ooh. That's how you raise a child.
Yeah, and it started to, that awkward situation started to unfold where it was like, Percy, are you enjoying this? And he was just like, yes, kind of, because he would ask his mother for like an extra 1 or 2 before the session be closed.
Oops, I forgot to take my shoes off again. Oh, excuse me, he's Australian. I forgot to take my shoes off again, Mom. That was too English. I lost it. Fuck.
That was good.
It doesn't matter.
It was in there.
Mom, my shoes, they're still on. Would you beat me to death?
Yeah. And, these maternally issued paddlings persisted throughout his teenage years. But the Dommy-Mommy hijinks wouldn't end there. Rose would manage the socially awkward Percy's friend list around the clock. So she decided who spends time with Percy and for fucking how long.
Right.
With each friend. So she's like running his schedule.
It's important. I mean, you don't want your kid hanging out behind Burger King, getting smarter.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a sad truth to it. And that's why we didn't give a real belly laugh there.
It was all of us cracking up on the inside.
Yeah.
The microphones don't pick that up.
It's it's the idea of quivering in truth.
Yeah.
I squirmed.
I speak truth to power. I'm from BuzzFeed.
There you go.
Congratulations on keeping your job.
Keeping it real, keeping a job. With an exception of 90 days of formal schooling, Percy was entirely homeschooled and self-taught in isolation. Or as Mike would say, autodidactic.
Thank you. Mike, what would you like to weigh? Oh, I forgot. Mike can't weigh in tonight because he's at a birthday party for a white supremacist.
Autodidactic.
Auto tricks.
Auto tech minis. He was taught liberal arts and was noted to have a gift in tickling the old ivory keys. His mother fostered his musical talent around the clock. Percy was more or less deprived of a childhood he never really emotionally matured. He was that sort of cheeky manlet you all know from high school. You know what I mean?
Cody, when you say ivory keys, are you talking about an elephant's tusk? Was he playing with that with his fingers?
Yes, in the form of a pianist.
Oh, he's
piano.
playing with his penis. Okay.
He's a big old pianist right now.
Nice.
How many pianist jokes can Travis make this episode? Let's find out.
72.
There you go.
Now you have to do that.
No.
we follow through with all of our promises here at Roast Mortem. You're going to have to make at least 72 penis jokes. And I know
That's
that
going to be
sounds
like one every 2 minutes.
That's going to be annoying. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
so
going
let's-
to do that.
Okay, we're going to upload a different version of the podcast to the feed. This is the one you're listening to. We just recorded Travis doing 72 penis jokes in a row. It wasn't worth it.
Out.
Yeah,
Thank you to Zwick for cutting all that out.
It's on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from an unhealthy dosage of ass smacking, Mummy Dearest would also issue Percy viciously racist teachings and ideologies. Mother Dearest had the whole erroneous Aryan supremacy vibe going on. And, of course, that rubbed off onto the child she was smothering day in and day out. Percy, our subject.
So, we're in Australia. Are we talking about the Aboriginals right now?
Okay, this is the weirdest flavor of racism I've ever licked. Are you ready for this?
Okay. Gays aren't a race.
No.
Wait,
wow.
Cody licks gays.
No. It's a weird flavor of racism. Percy is this racist that does not have any bad feelings towards minorities, but he just believes they're not capable of higher complexity endeavors.
Right. Which is racism, because that's what every white supremacist, if you ever talk to a racist, I've talked to a couple white supremacist people, and they all say the same thing. I don't hate black people. It's not about that.
Yes.
It's about that, they don't have the intellect, the beans I got in my head stirring around inside. Every racist says that, except for the really dumb ones.
The really racist ones do other things.
Right. The ones who are blatantly like, I hate this, yada, yada, yada. The other racists think they're idiots.
Yes.
Okay, guys?
And to draw an even more awkward picture than that, just imagine Percy would have no problem like having lunch with Wesley Snipes. But if Wesley Snipes ever said like, hey, I'm an award-winning like big screen actor, Percy would be like, no, you're not. That type of racism.
How cute.
Ooh, that kind of reminds me of those weird, like, scientists that went out west and they were, like, studying Native Americans. And they're like, these savages, like, they're, like, subhumans. I mean, that's, like, the real racist, right? When you talk about subhumans and shit.
Subhumans,
yeah, when they're
unless
like,
it's just slaves.
Right.
Wow, you made me pop my microphone with that spit take.
Either way,
yeah.
I don't know if we need to paint this picture, but us here at Roast Mortem don't care much for racism. We sure don't. So if you're gonna twist this one up and have fun with it, good luck.
So Percy is a racist, not a seething racist.
I just want to be called a racist all the time because I'm not. I want it to happen.
Oh.
I want to happen because.
Do you know who says they're not racists? Racists.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Cody. See, he's getting started.
you make it so easy, Tom.
I make it easy because what are you going to
do? Yeah. Percy, that type of racist. Percy would actually go on, spoilers, we'll talk about this later, but Percy would go on to, like, not fucking with you, befriend the Zulu tribe.
Oh, the whole tribe, eh?
The whole
every single one,
all of them.
So he didn't just go like, oh, I have a black friend, it's okay. He's like, I have a black tribe friend, it's okay. The whole tribe, we're very close.
Yeah. All of them.
They all love me. They love my antics. They actually kill elephants for me so I can make new pianos.
But yes, he was that type of racist. Had black friends. Oh, look at you. But not foaming at the gash, like do violent things to people he didn't like. Again, backtracking, mother made him this way, the super racist. When there is such a thing as being born blonde and your hair just darkens over time. I wouldn't know
like that.
because
that happened to me.
Were you two like that? Okay.
Yeah.
I just always had like the jet black hair.
You're Asian.
So like, yes, it's Asian.
I'm sorry you've never seen a variety.
It's you laugh, but I kind of learn something new every so often. Like this here thing. It's just like, wow, that happens to people that are all white. But when his hair started to darken, his mother freaked out and dunked his ass into a vat of peroxide to bleach him back to a Aryan-approved color of blonde.
That kind of worked. That I kind of did the same thing. My mom allowed me to use Sun-In when I was a boy because we would spend our holidays down at the classy Jersey Shore, Seaside Heights.
Look at
back
that.
when the finest composers, Smash Mouth, were popular.
Wow.
So I was like, Mom, I want to put Sun-In in my hair. So I was going
Sun-In
back.
helps you revert to your Aryan roots.
Not my Aryan roots, to my Smash Mouth roots, to my 90s lounge pop roots.
I I'm still freaking out about how you guys used to be blonde.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Surprised. Fuckery like this fostered Percy to be as unique, blossoming racist as I aforementioned. So, as I said, Percy thought, like, only Aryan-type people were great at complex endeavors. And one of those things was music. So, Percy's like, oh, the blonde hair, blue eyed naturally excel at music. So it must logically mean the best musician in the world is an Aryan looking fucker. And he believed that to his core. And that would resurface throughout this fucking episode.
Well,
Percy is such a stickler for English shit that he invented something called Blue Eye English, or Blue Eyes English, or Blue Eyed English. And it would be him rewriting words that didn't sound English enough, so they'd appease his OCD. So, and this was mostly in the music sphere of terminology. So
Great.
Percy would refer to crescendos as loud hugelies. And he would call the audience listeners, because audience sounds a little too Greek or French. And he would call the viola a middle fiddle, because that sounded too European.
A middle fiddle.
A middle fiddle and crescendos are loud hugelies.
I'll give you a middle fiddle.
Well, look, I maybe I can't get down with why he's changing these names, but to be honest, the names are good. The huge loudlies. That makes a lot of sense.
You like the loud hugelies?
I do. I like the loud hugelies. I'm
Wow.
in.
Brass section. I said loud, usually, not crescendo.
Yeah,
It's loud, usually.
yeah, it's great. It's fine. Everything's good so far.
Mm-hmm. At the age of 12, he was hailed as a child prodigy in the musical circuit, playing for the assorted bigwigs, most notably the Royal Exhibition Building in 1894.
So he's like the
Eventually-
equivalent of some kid that would be good at Fortnite nowadays.
Yeah, you can build a 1x1 real quick. Or whatever the
What
fuck
is
they call it.
Fortnite?
Battle Royale with building.
It's Legos, but you shoot each other in the penis.
Okay, but just to be clear,
Well, yeah,
what is Fortnite?
this could go on forever, man.
Yeah.
How much do you want?
I'm
Cody's
just
here for
throwing
you.
it out
How
there.
much do you want?
Maybe it's a question that's not supposed to be answered. Okay?
It's the end of all things to come and ever will be.
We can move along. I've seen a Fortnite, but I still don't get it. So let's go, Cody. Let's get more into Percy here.
Eventually, Percy and Dommy Mommy Rose realized Australia wasn't the most vivacious and happening of musical scenes. I would agree with them.
They got Sydney Opera House. That looks like a clam.
Name the second thing they have. I dare you. Because everyone's like, oh, Cody, they have Sydney. They got
Sydney
the Opera House.
Sydney Crab Shack.
Blood Duster, Damaged, King Parrot, Portal.
Okay. I do like KP.
It's good. Good music.
Pendulum.
They got Pendulous.
Wow, all right.
Is
I
Ed
stand
Sheeran
corrected.
from Australia?
Yeah.
Let's say he is.
Sure, why not?
I'm in love with the taste of you. That's the name of the song. I heard it the other day. I'm convinced he changed it last minute to not be that.
I've seen fire in your anus.
Who is Fortnite Ed Sheeran?
Dude, Sydney Crab Shack, dog.
I'll
.com.
continue while you Google that or whatever.
I will. All right, Cody, let's get some more.
So, realize Australia, I'm going to stand by that statement. Probably at the time, not great for music. There's more other better English-speaking musical venues across Europe. So, the two relocate to Frankfurt, of all places, in 1895.
Germany?
Yeah, Germany.
That doesn't speak English.
They do it enough.
They speak hot dog.
They speak hot dog. So this is about the time where the corporal punishment finally stops. Maybe Rose, the mother, was just like, oh, you're enjoying that too much, or I'm going to not.
What is that,
Yeah.
honey? What is that in your pants after I just spanked you? You have a ruler in there? You got a Frankfurter?
12 inches.
Frankfurter.
Long.
Every time I see
Footlong.
my grandmother, she goes, "Would you like a Frankfurter sandwich?"
Would you like a pop with that Frankfurter sandwich?
She's like, "Do you like Frankfurter sandwiches, Tom?" First time Gabby met her, Hi, Gabby. Do you like Frankfurter sandwiches?
Oh, you're not joking. Okay.
No, not at all. There's no joke there.
Just one of those awkward, like, antiques of the human language.
We got the hamburger and the Frankfurter.
English language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hamburger.
Yes.
I love hamburger sandwiches.
Hamburger
I love that
sandwiches.
term.
And yes, if you're wondering, I like Frankfurters. But it's charming how I need to get a lesson in Frankfurters before I eat one every time.
So, Percy stops getting spanked, but don't worry, he takes up self-flagellation at this time because the mommy endorsed floggings are no more.
Sometimes you gotta just feel something, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta feel something, most notably a leather whip to his scrot or his back.
Oh yeah, baby.
So he's in there good. He's not pussyfooting around. He's hit himself where it hurts. And this is just something Percy would not be able to shake throughout the rest of his life. So I want you to imagine each of the chapters we're about to touch Percy Grainger. He either has just come from a flagellation session, or he's excited about the next one he's about to go to because it's throughout his entire life.
Kinky.
Very kinky.
Do you think that his penis was permanently erect because of all the scarring? You know what I mean? When you whip something, you make a scar, dude.
Yeah, scars are tough. So everyone think about a scarred tissue dick? Anyone?
Yeah, scar tissue that you wish you saw, as the red chills.
That was
Peppers
poetic
did.
as shit. Oh, that's why.
Yeah, because he didn't write it. Cody,
Anthony Kiedis wrote it.
out of the 3 songs you've ever heard, which one is your favorite?
Rudolph.
It's a good song. Good song.
Good one. June, banger!
So, between spells of self-flagellation in Frankfurt, Percy received exquisite pianist tutelage here and exceeded enough to turn some heads and make a splash. However, pre-World War I tensions were brewing, and Percy and Mother noped out of Britain in 1901.
Noped out of Germany?
Nerped out of Germany to Britain, in 1901. So he's just like, maybe we want to be on the ally side of this conflict. Mother, let's go.
Well, they weren't that racist.
No. Well, it saved them, because that got gross in there.
Mommy, why does everyone walking around with spiky hats on? Time to go, honey.
This way.
Because they hate your rights.
Get the easy pass. Get the easy pass, honey. In Britain, they were well received, even having Queen Alexandra and King Edward becoming Percy heads, quote unquote.
Hey.
It's like a fish head. Do they do festivals?
Yeah, you know it. He does festivals, or he does tours, rather, I should say. In Britain, the music sphere had a slightly different taste and climate than what Percy was used to. In Britain, a skilled pianist was held in like high society. It's like, you're a musician, you're a classic musician, fancy pants. And Percy's just kind of like, I'm good at the piano. And he thought it was, yeah, go ahead.
This is also, keep in mind, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, right? We're in like 1912, right? I mean, like wax just started? But like, if you wanted to listen to music, you had to have a piano man. You had to have a little monkey. You had to have a little monkey to play you your music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Live music required. So the scene is happening, and Percy thinks he's overexalted. He's like, this is, music is for the everyman, not you high-class, inbred British twats.
That's what he said?
Yeah, well, I'm paraphrasing.
Okay.
Look at my scarred penis.
This made Percy's helicopter mother rock hard. She's like, yes, my son is respected in a higher class society now with, which royalty is part of. This had her tighten the reins on Percy's social life. He was maternally forbidden to fraternize with acquaintances of lesser wealth or social standings. Percy would surprisingly offer private piano lessons to supplement his income, but his mother had to agree to which student. And the thing is, if the lesson went even a minute long, the mother would just kick in the doors and throw the student out. It's crazy shit.
So we're still talking about Mama. How old is this guy right now?
He's 19, he's teenage still.
He's still a teenager? Okay.
he's
I was like
before-
picturing him like 35 or something.
No, he's still a teenager. This guy lives hard, young, and really slowly at the end of his life.
Okay.
He lived a full life, but like the last bits of it were just like, oh, okay, you were doing that. But most of the stuff is front loaded for this gentleman.
Okay.
At the ripe age of 19, Percy has his first ever girlfriend, a married woman of an open relationship. And initially, Percy, right? Shit happens.
Back then?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking
guess.
sick.
No, it's not sick. It's dumb.
Well, let's have a dialogue
dude. He
about
went
it.
straight for the experience.
Open
He's a man that knows what he wants.
It's a man who, look, I can't get into this right now. It's late at night. I'm hungover, but
Well, the weird thing that will probably continue your disapproval, Tom, is Percy's mom was just like, this is a great idea. Like, she's not going to, like, fuck you over with, like, some youthful indiscretion. She's experienced, and if you're ever overwhelmed, sweetie, you just tag her husband in. Like, his mom thought this was like the training wheels of a relationship, being a boyfriend to a married woman.
So, let me ask you, how rich was the husband?
I don't know. Must have been up there.
This is why I ask these questions.
Good.
Because chances are,
Tom's
if that was
there.
a poor husband, she's not going to be cool with that. So
Yeah, that's true.
This man does not have the social status for you to be swapping gummies. That's not going to work. This is going to fall through. I know it. I know that when you two touch dicks.
Oh, I didn't think threesome. Why did you go to threesomeville?
I'm not.
What's the point of having a extra boyfriend in a marriage? Come on.
Cody, if I put my balls in my hand and then I touch my hand on your face, you have now touched my balls.
That's
correct?
true.
Right.
That's why
now,
I don't shake your hand.
Pretend the woman is the hand. Now, I don't mean to objectify.
Where are you going with this?
What I'm saying is that when they're touching dicks like this, if that was a poor man, there's nothing to glom onto. This has got to be a rich husband. And I don't want to spend an entire evening breaking this down for you guys. But you understand what I'm saying.
I got it.
I'm totally on board, Tom. I know it's a rich dude.
He didn't work in a McDonald's. He was in a Hungry Jack.
Oh.
He wasn't
That's
the
true.
Hungry Jack. He was maybe the owner of a Hungry Jack.
I
there you
think
go.
you're close. I think he was the owner of Outback Steakhouse, the first one in like 1917. That's when the business started.
Fair enough.
Brisbane?
He was the owner of Percy's Boner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Poetic. This relationship was eventually broken off because Percy's mom realized it's like, oh, my son is going to want to fuck you instead of playing piano. Oops, my bad. Call off everything, Percy. And Percy's just like, yes, mama, and broke up with his only girlfriend he's ever had.
Wait,
At
so
this
you
point
didn't
in
even get
his
to
life.
fuck?
Oh, he got to fuck.
Oh, okay.
But when the fucking got in the way of the piano, the mom helicopter demon was just like, you got to not have the girlfriend anymore.
Well, I think the real thing is that she didn't want his talent to. He's got two talents, right? He's got.
Yeah.
In order to be a good pianist, you have 10 fingers, right? But you need your 11th.
11.
You need your
Yeah.
11th one to hit those bass notes, right?
Yeah,
So if he's worn
your pianist-
out, if he's been
Yeah.
pumping all with this guy and his wife, maybe it's going into his butt, the guy's butthole or something. It's a little bit rough, a little coarse.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Needs
wear
it.
out your 11th finger for the bass
Yeah,
line.
My 11th finger reaches the pedals, doesn't yours?
It doesn't move much.
No, mine actually.
I could slam those pedals.
No, mine actually plucks the strings on the piano.
Oh,
it goes
it
all the way around and
Philip
plucks.
Glass is
Prehensile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pluck. Yes, mine too has a fingernail that I leave a certain way.
Knuckle and everything. I feel dirty.
This is a terrible podcast. Continue.
Yes. Well, segue there is like, let's all feel dirty. At this time, Percy got back into the habit of self-whipping. Percy meticulously recorded every minute detail of these self-harm sessions in journals and even included photo documentation with the lens details included. So it'd be like, oh, f-stop was this, distance from lens to me was this,
Cody,
et cetera, et cetera,
please tell me you have an entry. Please tell me you have an entry in this journal.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, well, we
Don't-
don't really have to be angry at Cody today. We can be angry at Nick.
What do you expect it to be? Just, oh, there's a fucking welt. Did that with a fucking studded leather belt.
Well, Cody will never find
Just use
out,
your
at least
imagine-
not during the duration of this podcast, thanks
you.
to Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it, Nick.
I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to learn about his penis.
Nick, I deal with this all the time. You see what I fucking have to deal with? So this S&M wasn't just whip-based either. I don't have a picture, but I do have a blurb from a letter he wrote to a private confidant of his, and I think you guys will enjoy this. Percy expressed a desire to, quote-unquote, sticking 2 fish hooks slung on 4 pulleys, one of each into a woman's breasts, and then pulley raising the fish hooks till the weight of the woman's body caused the fish hooks to rip through the breast flesh.
Ooh.
So he's not just a leather guy, he's also into the Pearsons and such.
I'm the only person I've ever met that thinks that Rob Zombie is a bad director.
A great musician.
I think that Percy had been watching a little too much Clive Barker, a little too much Rob Zombie, and then starts jotting down these notes, trying to shock his mom into thinking that he's special. Also, having 0 balls to be like, Mom, go die.
Look, you want to, if you're into suspension, you're into suspension. I'm just saying, consent, dog.
Yeah.
Ladies gotta want to have those fish hooks in her tits.
This
Good
is the
luck,
truth.
Percy.
And-
Godspeed, you dumb idiot.
Yeah, you guys didn't read this, but I just thought it was interesting. He spells through like a millennial when he says cause the fish hooks to rip through the breast flesh. It's spelled THRU.
Oh, drive-through, dog. That's
Yeah,
that's
he's
called
like-
the drive. That you
he's ahead of
actually
his
are
time.
supposed to do that at the drive-through. So there's play in the bondage community. You go to a McDonald's, you have to have a special waitress, and she goes, "Oi, you want the McFish?" And then you slap those 2 fish hooks on, you drive away. And, whoop,
Where is the closest McBondles?
McBond-
Where can I find the nearest Long Bond Silver?
Ooh.
How am I going to do this?
Bondage
Taco
King.
Bond? That's a bit of a stretch. I'm sure there's another one. But Travis,
Dairy Queen.
you're kind of gross. Because you talk about this like willy-nilly.
Well, Tom, you're a big old cuck in the box.
A cuck in the
Whoa.
box. What?
That's good.
Ah! How dare you call me a cuck? That antiquated insult is far below me.
Well, if you think about it, a cuck in a box really isn't a cuck because it's in a box.
Yeah.
True. It knows not what's going on outside. So whether its wife is being fucked or not, it's Schrodinger's cock is what's going on.
Percy lamented on not having children of his own. He expressed a desire to share in the joy of brutalizing with any offspring he'd have. He wanted children that would obediently consent to his floggings. So I don't really know what the fuck is going on here. If Percy's self-flagellation kink is more than a kink, like we understand he does it for sexual gratification, but is it more than that? Does he just do it for gratification in general? That's non-sexual, because he's talking about doing it with children, his theoretical children at this point.
Right. So is this the first comparison you're officially making to Willy Wonka with the treatment of Oompa Loompas?
Beating the shit out of the small 4'5" person around you.
Yeah, making them feel bad, even though they got it bad already.
Put it up. Yes, sir. I'll clean out your tubes. Put it up.
Long story short, if he had kids, he would have beat them to shit and expected them to like it and consent. Rest assured, no kids. This cycle of what I presume is a mental health issue is terminated with Percy himself. So he's a fucking weird sicko. And speaking of masochistic behavior, Percy also took up the hobby of jogging. Like, oh my God.
I love jogging.
Yeah, Travis, you used to jog all the time.
Yeah, I love
Travis,
jogging.
why?
You're also into SMM, you sick fuck.
Why did you stop jogging, Travis?
Because my organs fell out of my body.
I don't know, man. You could wear a what is this thing the ladies wear?
I'm wearing one right now.
Spanx.
I'm wearing one right now. So if I
You're wearing
laugh too
Spanx?
hard,
Yeah, you're wearing your Spanx. You're wearing your corset.
Oh, those. Okay.
Yeah, just wear one of those, Travis, and go running down the street of Portland, and everyone will go, "Oh, look at they run."
trust me, they will be running once I'm better. Once I can lift
Look at they
over 20 pounds. And back to the thing.
You're weak now.
I am. And back to the
You will
thing.
never know. You are the Lucky Charms of men.
Wow.
I am. But also, what is with Australian people and just beating kids? Because, like, didn't they have that thing? There was a whole Simpsons episode that's, like, real, right? Where they, like, boot the kid or something. They cane him in Australia.
Well,
Caning? Yeah, caning's use a cane.
it's built into DNA. Now, it's no surprise to anyone that Australia is criminals.
Yes.
So, inherently,
Thanks
if
for
you're an
listening.
Australian parent, you are going to want to beat your kid, punish them for the things they're going to do later when you cannot beat them as easily.
You don't want to fall behind on that at all.
Exactly, Cody.
Be proactive on that shit.
Beat your children.
Please don't.
So, Cody, what were you going to talk about joggers being, like, really cool and shit?
Yeah, he gets into jogging. Percy refused to use period-appropriate methods of traveling. No stagecoaches, no trains for Percy. He'd just fill up a comically huge rucksack and just hoof it, sometimes 60 fucking miles to, like, the next venue he had to play
Oh,
at.
no. I mean, there's jogging casually, and then there's the people that are, like, joggers.
Oh.
Like those.
Now the line's been crossed.
The line
for
has been
Travis
crossed.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, hold on. Have you guys ever do a quick Google search for me? Look up cyclists' legs.
I've seen that.
It's fucking horrific. Like, don't do
after
something
Tour de
that much
France.
where that happens.
Tom, how do you like these legs?
I'm going to look right now. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. This is... Do you know the face from the Lord of the Rings, from the trees of the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, the
Oh,
ends.
the ends.
Yeah, the Ents. Imagine that was your legs. And they didn't... And the only hobbits they were carrying were your testicles as they shriveled upon the seat in which you spend all your time. Oh! No
There
one
you
should
go.
ride bicycles that much, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't jog that much either because your legs also look fucked.
Probably. I don't have any photographic depictions of the Percy leg.
But what we can all agree on is everyone should always be shaving their legs.
Yeah, and their chests.
Mm-hmm.
You need at all times. It's only safe to be prepared and be water dynamic, right? You need to be fluid,
Hydrodynamic.
at all times.
It's fantastic. Oh!
It's pretty
So
gross,
he's jogging
right?
everywhere. He's jogging everywhere. He's getting the weird leg, presumably. But because Percy's not a Christ man Jesus, he can't walk on water and still had to occasionally resort to steamships. However, when such was the case, Percy would approach the captain and volunteer to shovel coal for the voyage. She's like, let me burn some calories feeding your steamers. And a wise captain would never refuse free help or free labor. So the captain agreed, and Percy would be on coal shoveling duty. Partway through the voyage, the captain would see how his new coal shoveling gentleman would be faring in the boiler room, and the captain would walk in on Percy, ass naked, shoveling coal into the boilers. And the captain would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Percy would simply just reply, "Exercising."
Good for Percy.
Yeah,
Nothing
dude,
wrong with being in a room naked.
I know whenever I'm in like Holiday Inn Express and they have that gym, gym room, right? Like I'm in there naked for sure, all the time.
That's
not
usually
wiping
a
down any of the
glass
seats.
room. That's a glass room usually, Travis.
Good. Look right in. There you can see a man who loves to jog, loves to wear corsets, gets around. Travis, you get around
Yeah, get around.
by vehicle, unlike Percy.
I would be on the steamship and eating all of the chocolate on the
He would be
Naked?
Foot Locker's #1 customer, wearing out the soles of his. Why are shoes at Foot Locker so bad? Why is every shoe dumb?
Dude, every shoe falls apart. It's garbage.
They look like shit. They look like shrink wrapped feet. They're just dumb.
Wow.
I hate walking into a place that's supposed to sell shoes and sells bags.
Tom, you don't want them Jordans?
Jordans are dumb looking.
All right.
Sorry for the tangent.
No, but a naked coal shoveling Percy leads many a historian to believe that this guy had some kind of undiagnosed hyperactivity disorder. So that may explain some self-flagellation and other things we're going to look at.
Was he completely naked or was he wearing socks? Because if he was wearing socks and he was naked, then he is clinically insane.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Or if he was doing the Diddy Kong, like the tank
shirt.
top and nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was that a t-shirt? The fan base Percy would know and love would bestow onto him the novel nickname the Jogging Pianist, which sounds hilariously dirty for some reason. Percy would embrace this kayfabe for his musical performances, and he would jog around the stage and hurtle over pianos and patrons and just be like, I'm the Jogging Pianist. Enjoy me.
This guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's
He doesn't
made,
get what people are making fun of him. Well, he does great music, but he runs around like a jerk. You think, huh?
Look at this. A little bit.
You always want to see me run, but you haven't run all the way. Shut up, Percy.
I feel like at some point in the story, does he fall into like a bucket of blue paint and then he's just the first blue man group?
Yeah, he just starts doing it. Just smacking on pipes.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is like fan service type buffoonery that Percy's doing. The bourgeois British patrons adored his quirkiness. He's like, oh, he's charming. Look at him. But one thing his higher class patrons didn't approve of was Percy prepared and played, so the furthest seat in the entire venue could hear him comfortably. You know what I mean? It's like, so what if this person paid the least? He should hear my music just as well and just as comfortably.
So he heard it. He played with no dynamics. Everything was on 10.
Yup.
What did he call it? Bigly loud or something?
Loud
Huge
Piglies.
loudlies. Loud hugelies.
He was Ed Bighead of the Huge Loudlies.
Yes. So he played for the cheap seats, which made his performance nearly unbearable to everyone else.
Dude, he's the godfather of
auditorium.
arena rock. This guy's a regular
Wow.
old Bon Jovi.
Wow.
Playing for the cheap seats.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could sell more cheap sheets. Sheets. Who cares?
Yeah.
Billy Joel lost to a chess game to my girlfriend. Take
Really?
that, Long Island, and your egg sandwiches.
Yeah, in Jersey, I'm not forgetting about you, Bruce Springsteen. More like Bruce River Dirty.
All
From
right.
a true New Yorker.
I second that.
Yeah, because
Right.
you see what I did there? Because everyone is like, Jersey Dirty. And I'm like, you have a spring in your name? No way. You got a dirt.
Dart.
I like explaining my jokes.
I love him.
You do. You're the funniest guy in the podcast. Cody,
That's
more
true.
please.
Percy's critics lambasted him for his overuse of decibels. It's like the guy plays too loudly. But either because he is a twit or a mega brave visionary, Percy accepted the criticism as a compliment. He's like, oh, thank you. I do play too loudly. So he's a little fucking weirdo. And here begins the slightly cringy experimental phase of Percy Grainger. Percy would attempt to achieve beatless music by writing to a constantly fluctuating time signature. So he's kind of being like, who says music's gotta have a pattern to it? And it's just like, well, everyone kind of.
Right. Listening to music that is an audio experience. Travis, let's talk briefly about the time we saw Venetian snares.
Oh boy.
Because that's what this sounds like. Venetian
Yeah, all
right.
Snares is a great artist, but I think he went off the deep end as he stopped paying attention to any rules of music and went full on sound experience.
Well, he also stopped smoking meth or something.
Yeah, no, he started smoking that gas station CBD they have in Winnipeg.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, it was a big letdown. We were like, oh, what's he got? He's got this, like, what is it? The laptop guitar? The upside-down guitar?
It was a nightmare. Okay, so really seriously, no jokes here. Venetian Snares is known for his odd time signatures, but he had one specifically, which is 7/4. Most of his songs were in 7/4. It's a little jarring to the average listener, but once you get into it, there's a groove. The last thing you should do is change your time signature every single measure if you want friends.
Okay. Percy
Aren't there
don't
a
want
lot of
friends.
metal people that do that, though?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's technical death metal and stuff like that, but they still can appreciate that. Like bands like, here's an example, Deeds of Flesh. They go back and forth between straight notes and triplets. That seems really jarring, but it all makes sense. Like every riff makes sense. You can hum the riffs almost because there's a catchiness to them. And there's there's transitions where they'll throw in 1 or 2 odd times or change the time signature for 1 bar or 2 bars, but then they find something else. And they latch onto that. It's a theme. You can't just constantly be doing that. It's dumb, and I'm going to shut up now. Okay?
Dude, but like sound is like the ocean, dude. And have you ever been in the ocean? You know that there are seals in the ocean, and there's also sand, and there's also coral. And if you put them all together in a blender, what do you get? Ocean shake. And that's how you do music.
Zwick, feel free to cut out all my serious banter just now. As this show is for education, not opinions.
No jokes.
Keep the ocean shaking, because that is going to be my new business model. It basically tastes like bad seafood.
A menace.
I'll take 1,000. Anyway, experimental phase. Percy's doing beatless music, fluctuating time signatures, and he starts calling this music is for higher beings, not necessarily you humans. And it's just like this whole gross experimental phase that he's trying out. However, 1903 rolls around and he has a tour date in South Africa. And this is where those lovely Zulu tribesmen come into play. He's deciding to go out on a jog, but before a performance, goes out, meets, Zulu tribesmen, hits it off. They love him because they're joggers as well. They're joggers as well, and he's a little bit more well-mannered than the other white folk of South Africa at the time, if you catch my drift.
Yes. Even though he was racist, he was the nicest man to black people because South African white people are ridiculous. They are asleep. They're racist. They've never been awake. They've been they're dreaming in whiteout.
Ooh. What about Ninja?
He's racist too. I asked him. He's the most racist man. Everyone canceled the ant word because we don't really know how that should be said.
I agree. Percy goes jogging, finds these Zulu guys. They get it off. They're like, "Hey, you're fun. You're quirky." And Percy's like, "Likewise." And they're instantly friends. And Percy rounds them all up and marches them back to the nearby South African city. And Percy's like, "Concert tickets for all of my Zulu mates." And Percy's manager was just like, "Oh my God, get those guys out of here right now if you want them to live."
Oh, right.
Oh, because South Africa's a hellscape.
So remember before we were talking about types of racists at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah.
I don't feel like he is the racist now because he's nice.
So it's a weird, awkward feeling.
Yeah, but he also thinks that these people are like dog people. Like he found a bunch of dogs that followed him.
He found a group of non-musicians, non-artists, and non-craftsmen that are still humans, but these Zulu people can't, make music or do art or, quote unquote, higher endeavors of humanity.
Okay.
There's still people that can be friends.
What do you think Percy Grainger would make of Ice Cube? Excuse me, Ice-T.
Oh, he'd be cool with Ice-T, but he's
an artist. And he's opinionated.
Percy would be like, that's not art.
Oh, that's rude. Yeah, okay.
Percy would be like,
SVU, not art.
not art.
Not art.
So they wrap up this South African tour without reigniting the Boer War, which I guess you can call that a success. After returning to England, Percy sprang a huge floppy boner for folk music. It was a good music without the supremacy and pomp and circumstance that the elite British concert goers demanded. He was charmed by the level of everyman feel to it.
Just like, I'm blue, I'm a D, I'm a dove, I was great, I would die. That's modern day folk music.
Folk music.
I'm blue.
That is
Blue
a great
is a
example
color,
of modern
I
day
can be
folk
a
music.
cool.
Mm-hmm. So he set about the countryside and boonies to amass a catalog of folk music. This is actually quite a tricky task, because folk songs are kind of not written down because of literacy shenanigans in the boonies and countryside, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yep, me too.
I wrote down the first 3 words of the song in the back of a highlights magazine, and that's
It's gone.
enough. Because I got
gone
enough
now.
thinking from all the crosswords I've done.
Highlights is really where you should start any academic or creative endeavor.
Mm.
Yeah, circle what's wrong with this picture. Percy might have a different answer than I do, depending on the demographic of the picture.
You know,
It's
he
a
does.
warm-up. It's a brain warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
Highlights.
So he goes about collecting all these things. He comes across a musically gifted elder of a small village that, had a wealth of folk songs in her head. You know what I mean? She's a walking jukebox of folk songs that aren't written down anywhere else. And Percy is just like, bitch, you will sing all of those for me. And the village elder is just like, no, I am embarrassed. And refuses to sing for Percy.
Wait,
and
where
share
is
the
she?
songs.
Where
the
is
boonies
she?
of England.
The boonies of England, and you went for some
Romanian? Yeah.
Transylvanian. No, I cannot sing for you.
Leave me. Boonies.
Get in my house, cunt.
So this elder, who I've made Transylvanian for some fucking reason, is too shy and refuses to sing to Percy. At which point Percy locates this elder's granddaughter and coerces her to hide him and invite the grandmother over to recite her songs. The granddaughter agrees, crams Percy under her bed, and invites the old lady in and asks Grandma to sing. And Percy is underneath the bed scribbling down lyrics to the folk songs and taking notes on its other musical qualities.
I've always found it very strange that the words that English people use to describe their vaginas, fannies, beds,
Yeah.
what else can it be? Dingers, I know that's one. Someone told me that once.
Growler.
But imagine just being under that girl's vagina and having her labia in your face, and you're just trying to figure out what the hell this grandma's playing. Get out of here, lady.
It's distracting.
I told you to hide me, not molest
I just want
me.
to hear the music.
Well, this is what I can imagine to be one of the world's most convoluted acts of music piracy.
I like it. I like the way that they've tricked this old woman into giving up her properties.
All that she wanted was a little action from Percy whipping his pee-pee. That's all he needed to do, and she would have given him the rights to the music.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, Percy and his mother ducked over into the good old US of A while World War I was starting to start its shit up. The conflict had escalated, and Percy thought he would assuredly be drafted into combat. In an attempt to get ahead of the draft, Percy volunteered his musical skills as a military bandman. Through a bit of serendipity, his request fell onto a fan/friend of his. So Percy's weapon of choice during the first industrialized global conflict was an oboe.
Oboe?
An oboe. They needed a wooden type gentleman, not a piano guy. So, you can't do piano and fucking military things. So
The oboe is the least sexy instrument of all time. And I'll tell you why.
all right.
Okay.
You know when you see a girl and they start crying and they cry real ugly?
Yeah.
Every time anyone plays an oboe, they look like a ugly crying girl. because of the way the cheeks come out, it's just a little thing like, I remember this. I remember being in 7th grade. The first time I saw an oboe was a girl who I was going to school with. And I thought she was very cute. I was in 7th grade. I was ready. I was thinking about things like this. As soon as I saw her blow into that thing, I was like, that girl's a tramp whore.
Look at her in brochure.
Yeah, I hope she's doing well now. I forgot her last name and first name, but either way, an oboe is a terrible instrument.
Yeah.
That's what the clarinet was there. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, just
Clarinets are sexy.
Yeah,
get rid of all instruments except for the hurdy-gurdy.
Well, we might talk about a few instruments worth saving later on. But, so he's in the military serving as a bandman, tooting on an oboe, while, there's soldiers out there, tanking German machine gun fire and shrapnel. And he's just tooting away, World War I.
Hey, that's a dirty job, man. That's a straight Mike Rowe right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oboe. Mike Oboe. Eventually, the Red Cross pulled Percy from morale-boosting duty and repurposed him into fundraising duty. So instead of rallying the troops, you're going to rally the people with money, and then we're going to take their money and give it to the troops. And Percy's just like, I hate this.
Well, to be fair, like all the troops were 18-year-olds that wanted to listen to, what year is this again? So that think at the time they wanted to
Breaking Benjamin.
They wanted to listen to Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yes. Historically, they were like, oh, great, we got a pianist. Who cares? I want to listen to Wake Me Up Inside.
Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah. Back off. I'll take you on. That's the mentality. You cannot play to 18 to 25-year-old boys and get them rallied with non-time signature-based music ever. You could do that with rich people and get them to hand in their money. Or you could just get taxes.
Yeah. That's one of those things you get. I don't know. I think that if I wanted to go into battle, I think Wake Me Up Inside is the perfect song. I don't want to listen to Benny Goodman.
Yeah. Exactly. I think we feel the same.
Wow.
I mean, Cody, I don't know for sure, but
I'm not a warrior.
Could you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah.
The last thing that's going to fuck you up, get you to want to stuff a few krauts is
save me.
No, that will get me. I'll be like,
Can't
save wake me up inside.
Yeah.
Das means killing you. This is the song that I pointed through your body, cigarettes. Because that's every song had a cigarette ad in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for tangents, guys. I've went from being hungover to drunk.
I love it.
Almost no transitional period.
0 to 60, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So 2C. Percy toots his oboe throughout World War I and survives because no one's shooting at the fucking bandman.
Yeah.
He eventually settles down with his mother in White Plains, New York, after the war.
White Plains.
White Plains,
oh, my
yeah.
God. White
1919. Settles down with his mother in White Plains. Between the
do you think I know this probably wouldn't be written, and I can't knock you or Nick. But do you think
Nick? He's on the podcast. That's the point.
No, but I'm just saying, do you think that he's still getting some little taps, some little slaps on his butthole from his mama?
Yeah,
from his mom, probably not. Ones? From himself, yes.
No, but I mean, like, he's not going to put that in the bio, right? Like, oh, Mama Atkins hit me in the butthole.
Well, an interesting development happened, and you let me know how you feel about that.
Okay.
Does mom die?
It's postmortem. Everything dies.
True.
That was deep, bro.
Yeah. So, between the syphilis and smothering tendencies of Rose, mother dearest, her behavior became erratic. She'd resort to faking seizures and accusing Percy of not loving her enough if Percy wasn't instantaneously by her side.
I forgot she had syphilis.
Right.
Don't forget the syphilis.
And you can tell that this is not exactly a glamorous childhood for Percy right there. Just by the way you phrased it, sir. She started to act erratic. She had been beating this kid for 19 years, and then all of a sudden she starts acting erratic.
She ratcheted up.
Now she's throwing balonies off the top of the Empire State Building and trying to catch him in her mouth like a dog.
There's Tom
she
with
might
his
be acting
weird,
a little erratic.
Well, there's Tom with his weird, uncanny ability to semi-predict the future with a New York skyscraper involved. But these two, very unhealthy relationship. Percy has another girlfriend, but it goes so fucking horribly sour the first time, he brings her home to meet Mother, that this now ex-girlfriend accuses the two of having an Oedipus complex thing going on, or as Mike would say, some Siegfried and Freud shit.
Right. Rest in peace, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
too bad Mike got cougared to death. Or what happened? You got lions to death.
He's at a birthday party for a white supremacist.
Yeah, a birthday for a 45-year-old female white supremacist cougar.
Nice.
Wow.
Is it worth it, kids? No, it's not. Hatred
Never.
is real.
Everyone's a racist today, okay? Let's go.
In 1922, suffering from untreated syphilis and the accusation of porking her own son, Rose took a train ride to New York City and executed a sick, nasty 18-story swan dive onto the pavement below, totally sticking that landing.
Did she create the New York hot dog in that moment? Was a man boiling
little too flat.
water to reflect in? And she jumped off and her bones hit in the right way and became sausages.
Wow, it snaps when you chew it.
I don't know. It's something to think about.
I love how in theme we are, because we were just talking about the Emmy, Oscar-winning award song, Wake Me Up Inside.
Right.
Yeah.
But that music
Oscars.
video, she's just falling out of a building the entire time.
Yeah, we could actually get Amy Lee from Evanescence on the show sometime. I'm
That's
a
cool.
friend of a friend. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, I'd love to wake up. I'd love to finally wake up inside of my body.
Right.
So she's waking up right now as she's falling, and then she hits the ground and dies.
Goes splat.
Okay, cool.
No one
That's how you
saved
wake
her.
up. Save it!
She was not saved.
All right.
Uh,
In all seriousness,
Percy-
that's very sad.
It's awesome and sad. Percy mourned his mother's acrobatic passing by keeping a locket with one of her last letters addressed to him inside. He also had a biography of his mother printed. Because he was a slightly autistic fuck, Percy insisted the biography's final page feature a picture of his mother's corpse.
After she jumped out of a window.
After she went splat after 18 stories.
I'm curious.
So-
Is this picture something I can look at right now?
I will give it to you right now, my friend.
Oh, no, I don't even know if I want to see it. But
I
all
won't.
right.
No. There's nothing gross about it, Travis, but you will notice how little of the body can actually be shown to prevent the gross from being...
All right.
So it's
Thanks,
totally
Nick.
safe.
I appreciate this, Nick.
Totally safe for work, but just look at how little of that
Oh,
body.
it's just her nice head. She's
It's just one side of her nice
fine.
head.
It's Judy
Yeah.
Garland waking up in a field of roses.
It's like
Yeah.
the one part of her that wasn't like turned into jelly was like this one side of her face. That's
Yeah, no, she's fine.
Sheesh.
She's just sleeping.
Fine.
Yeah, look at that.
You know,
So
some
have
people
you
say that when you get syphilis, you live 1,000 years in a day. Now,
No. What?
if you got syphilis and you live in
Yeah.
a time when it can be treated, such as 1922, when this Rose jumps off a building, you choose not to do anything about it. You lived enough. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
19 years of syphilis. That's an eternity of normal people time. She's like a
Yeah.
vampire in her mind. She beat her son into being the best pianist in White Plains, New York.
Good for you.
She's accomplished so much. I
Brave.
salute her. And also, I like this. What was it? Acrobatic death? That phrase you used?
Acrobatic passing.
Acrobatic passing.
Yeah.
If you wrote that, fantastic. If Nick
I
wrote
did.
that, even better.
Well,
Amazing.
Nick and I wrote this episode.
Well, all
there
on
you
you. You guys seen them robots? First off,
No. Where are you going?
Disney has robots that they throw like really far.
Oh, I
and
saw
it's-
them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
scary.
Why?
It's literally a robot that does weird stunts, but it looks like a human. But it
Yes.
can't die. It can't have an acrobatic death
They're going to
because
sell
it's a robot.
Yeah, but they're
It's
going to
a
sell
robot.
that technology to the government.
Yeah.
And then the government's going to make fake suicides for everybody.
I like that idea.
Anyone with anyone with intelligence, they're gonna capture and make fake suicides for them.
Wow.
Everyone,
but the suicides will look really good because it's an acrobatic robot.
Dude, they won't just look really good; they'll look amazing. They
right,
will
cool.
look
Oscar-winning
flowers coming out of
suicides.
everyone's body. Everyone who has information leading to the arrest of Hillary Clinton will be suicided in a fantastic way.
Oh, no. So, much in the same vein of putting your mother's corpse on the last page of your book, have you guys ever read a book and the last page just says the end, and you think to yourself, oh, thank God you let me know, because I would have kept on reading?
I always like when the book says the end ? It's like, I can tell that there's no more pages.
Good.
So this is the end.
This is the end.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you could write another book, but then that would be another the end.
You are the target demographic of that because your fingers are always sticky. So you're skipping pages all the time by accident.
That is right. I really love sweet and sour sauce.
And reading, apparently.
And reading.
I'm glad.
Most of the research I do, I'm barehanding sweet and sour sauce into my mouth.
No dumpling, no egg roll.
No, just a sweet. Yeah, that's I call it brain fuel.
When you eat Chex, do you put sweet and sour sauce in there?
Sir, I don't eat Chex. I'm not a disgusting beast. I eat Cocoa Pebbles with sweet and sour sauce.
Am I right?
I don't know.
That's
I
fine.
don't know about him.
I need
hope you start jogging again.
No,
Okay.
Tom. The sweet and sour sauce helps my brain. The chocolate in the Cocoa Pebbles helps my serotonin. Gets me happy to learn.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
It's all science, dude.
Great.
Brought to you by Biofuel.
Yes. How do I do this from now? So
It's a hard transition, but you got it.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, Percy.
What were you talking about? The guy that makes music?
No, I was talking. I was setting up a bit regarding how stupid it is to print the word "the end" for finality at the end of a book, and here's Percy doing command insert deadmom.jpg print at the end of a book, and you bet your ass that all the family got this biography, which, without trigger warnings, featured, the dearly departed in photographic form at the end of the book. Very slightly autistic of our friend Percy here.
I think our entire podcast is autistic. I think that's the kind of book that we would put out.
Murder, true crime, murder, hot
story of our lives, baloney beatings, all the bad things, talks of dingoes, outbacks, and all of a sudden a picture of one of us just strung up. Maybe not dead.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Percy has, he's a manlet up until this point, and this is like his first taste of death. It's like, oh, mama, people die, what the fuck? And Percy focused on having his own music immortalized by having other people playing it. You know what I mean? He entered the artist phase of I want to create instead of collaborate now, or piggyback or perform.
So he's like, a composer.
He's a composer now.
It's just like Milli Vanilli. I don't want to play my own music. I just want to be recognized for it.
Yes.
It's like Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element.
There you go. Very good.
Yes.
Percy would capitalize on the sluggish economic atmosphere of post-war Germany and the American Great Depression to hire out the work of out-of-work orchestras. So he's like, oh, I'll pay you poor fucks to toot my music, and they'd all agree because they are poor fucks. He also had this horrible... He still had students, and he had this horrible quirk he'd like to do with students. He would book 2 lessons simultaneously, so he'd get one student on one piano, and then right next to that student on another piano. And you might be thinking, oh, what's the big deal? The big deal was he asked each student to play different sheet music as a exercise in concentration and focus.
Dude, it sounds fucking great, dude.
I'm actually doing 2 podcasts at the same time.
Yeah, it's push to talk, and Will's just out of shot right now.
Yeah, I'm doing a heavy hole over here.
Oh, hey, guys. Heavy hole.
Don't confuse me that much. You sound just like him.
It's got a little bit of an echo going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, Percy's doing, even crazier Percy things. But without the Herculean cockblock of his mother, Percy finally marries his wife, Ella, in 1927. The two were very much in love and actually both enjoyed a little bit of the BDSM together.
There you go. Consent. Did she look like his mom?
She did not. She actually did not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, cool, Percy.
Yeah, Percy's actually happy for like one of the first times in his life.
Get that ass raw.
Smack it. The two visit Australia, where Percy thinks Melbourne needs the Percy Grainger Museum. And the officials of Melbourne are like, we do museums for dead people, kind of. Who are you? What? What's going on?
Yeah, no one should make a museum for themselves while they're alive. That's like the same thing when we're talking about, like, why do you do a biography?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, the only, so they did the Freddie Mercury one, and he was alive. And that's, when he was dead. And that's fine.
He's dead.
But then they did Elton John the same year. Elton John's probably going to live for 20 more years. What are you doing? What is this for?
When you're alive and you want to write down your experiences, I mean, that's important. That's called a memoir.
Don't publish.
That's not called an autobiography. That's called a fucking memoir.
I believe that Dr. Dre conveniently left out several instances of spousal abuse from Straight Outta Compton. But who am I to say?
Well, yeah.
When they did Stephen Hawking's one, they did the Stephen Hawking. It was a man in a wheelchair. He was basically dead from the waist, from the head down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The man, that's the exception. You can make a movie about him. It could have been a better
Christopher
movie.
Reeves, absolutely, when he was alive after he hit a tree.
Yeah. I don't think he hit a tree. I think
he fell off a horse. But didn't he get clotheslined by the tree on a horse?
I thought he got hit by a train.
On a horse?
I thought the horse was half trained.
A horse clotheslined him while hanging out of the train window.
Yeah.
And it was his last cartwheel, and it happened to be several hundred rotations.
Don't forget the banana peel.
Yeah. Oof.
Dude, that bananas are straight up kryptonite. Talking about another banger right there. That's called music. I don't know.
Banger.
My kryptonite. Yeah! If I go crazy, would I you still there holding my hair?
Anyway,
I can't believe people think this this podcast. Excuse me, I can't believe people think that this podcast is smart. Continue.
Yeah, it's weird.
Dude, this podcast is probably about smart.
It's a whole bucket of smart.
Cody, keep telling me smart things.
Melbourne was just like, dude, you're alive. We're not going to make a museum of you. And Percy's like, I'll build it myself. God damn it. Mm-hmm. And Percy went out that afternoon, bought a shitload of bricks, and began laying the foundation with his own two bare hands until he ran out of bricks, at which point he would get up and do a fundraising concert or two and then buy more bricks. Rinse and repeat until he's got his own museum somehow.
What?
So,
yes.
He made a museum.
He made his own museum, and it was just his job to fill it up with stuff now that it was built. He began stocking the place with personal documents and effects, and he would turn a new leaf in his career trying to do some new age stuff to put in his museum to show how future he was.
All right, so if I was to, as we just discussed, this is a stupid idea because he's alive, but if I was to make a museum for myself while I was still alive, I would totally have a room that I would basically make like a plexiglass tunnel through, and then try to fill the room up with cum rags.
I thought you were going to say
tissues.
shrimp casings, but
that's very future, Travis.
That is pretty future.
Amazingly future. Now let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Did Percy Grainger have some kind of aviator sunglasses that were actually entirely opaque except for little slits that went horizontally?
No, why?
Wait, are you talking about Big Trouble in Little China, dog?
No, I'm talking about Kanye West, because he's a man of the future, and he was able to say, if you put these on your eyes, you become the future.
I'm honestly surprised that Kanye doesn't have a museum for himself yet.
Yeah, that's weird.
He just hasn't thought of it yet.
Yeah, if he listens to the show, which I'm like 99.99999% sure he doesn't.
Fish sticks.
Kanye, we love you. We'd love for you to come to our official Roast Mortem Meets Kanye West barbecue. We have planned this for the year 2020 to get over the COVID hump that we're all dealing with. But
We're going to do some social distance sack racing.
Please come. I've ordered a trailer for you so you can
Wow.
have your own bathroom. And we'll be making hamburger sandwiches, Frankfurter Churros, and ribs and corn and macaroni salad that we can all enjoy while looking into the fucking future. Horizontal aviator glasses with opaque slots. Let's go. The future.
Speaking of the future, he decided to tinker and invent his own gadgets he'd like to call free music machines, better known today as synthesizers.
Whoa! This
Amongst
is a synth
these-
boy? This is a
He's
lord
a
of the synth?
boy. He's a synthesizer guy. Amongst his early invented synthesizers, one was called the Estate Reed Tone Tool, and a second one called the Grainger Kangaroo Pouch, which was kind of a hurdy-gurdy bagpipe electronic
see this.
instrument.
Tom,
Yeah.
are you looking this up?
I'm really curious.
If there's one thing that I like, it's synthesizers.
That's the only
This guy
thing.
liked
really.
his synthesizers.
Was it the Grainger Kangaroo Boy Jr.?
Cross Grainger Kangaroo Pouch.
I don't see anything.
No, my findings were slim as well, but I'll leave it to you two if you see anything interesting.
Kangaroo pouch.
No, but there is a bunch of people at the Grainger Museum. Wait, is
wonder
this
if that's
it? Oh,
him.
wait, hold on. Wait, I think this is it.
This is just a tube for people to stand inside of.
Is this like the are you watching the video with like a bunch of Asian guys?
I don't watch videos on the show. I'm trying to concentrate.
They're not playing it, but it looks stupid. Anyway, moving on, Cody.
The Cross Grainger Pouch. And Percy even wrote a composition for a theremin quartet.
All right,
Well, that's
that
the most
I
annoying
appreciate.
composition ever.
I want someone explain to the people at home what a theremin is.
Travis, please.
All right, theremin, probably coolest instrument because it's like the most futuristic instrument.
Which is awesome because we were talking about the least sexy instrument, the oboe, literally 20
Yeah.
minutes ago.
theremin is the coolest instrument. I've actually seen some theremin performances when I go to. I've seen some silent films that have been scored with a theremin. So it's basically like one antenna, and then I don't know exactly how it works.
It's two
like
antennas, you dummy.
two antennas, and then you move your hand back and forth, and it makes radios.
It's the sci-fi sound.
Yeah. Ooh.
Most of
Yeah.
our listeners know what it is. We're explaining
Yeah.
to a small minority that doesn't exist because we have very smart listeners that can see
Yes.
through our bullshit. And one of
So-
them is the fact that you fell for my trap. Why would you explain a theremin the way you did?
Tom, you're
Answer
slowly.
I don't
Tom,
know.
you're turning this into a Dragon Ball Z episode. I can't stand it.
I don't have the time for a Dragon Ball Z episode ever.
Anyway, I think this theremin quartet was like the only time 4 theremins have ever been in the same room.
God.
So believe it or not, Percy is actually an OG pioneer of electronic music. Weird.
Dude, fucking Tiesto, bro. Never mind turning around. You're whipping your dick hole. You're fucking Tiesto.
Very good. Tiesto, I love him. It's a good guy. Hip with the kids.
Dude, Tiesto's hip with like the 45-year-olds.
That's true. I'm getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
During this time, Percy suffers debilitating bouts of abdominal pain sometime in the early 1950s. Percy was diagnosed with the big old C. And the sadomasochist that Percy was decided to combat his cancer by a regimented bloodletting.
Sick.
Wow.
So,
And just to be clear, the big C.
the big C, cancer.
The big C
he's
can
got
be
it.
seen on such websites as Pornhub and X videos. If you type
Well-
in Lexington Steel,
That's not that type of C.
the big
No, yeah,
C,
it's not that, Tom, it's not that type of C. It's the one that hides underneath the hood, and we're talking about a big one. So there's a hole behind it. It just kind of flops over the hole.
Oh,
And you got to push it to the side to get to the hole.
okay.
The
All
big
right,
C.
well, the big C. Take care of yourself, everyone.
Wow. Yeah.
Who knows? You only live once, they say, and some people might even abbreviate that saying.
Cody, are we going to get to the Ask Me the Question right now?
We're getting there.
But can I, like, ask my dick how to piss out of it?
Yes.
Zwick, you can leave that in just so the listeners know that we take 40 to 70 bathroom breaks every episode.
No, the
We get
last
5
one.
sentences
The
in,
last
and
one
Travis
wasn't
has
even a bathroom break. I just needed we took one.
Travis's penis and bladder is the size. It's the size of a soy sauce packet from Panda Express. It's very small. If he swallows too much in a human environment, he will have to pee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I have to pee too, Cody, but I'm not going to because I hate Travis.
Yeah. Spite Travis at the expense of your own bladder.
I don't care. I'm going to get my bladder removed eventually. I'm going to put a new one in.
Cyborg bladder.
I'm going to put in a high-pressure tank.
Yeah, give me a Sony bladder. That'd be cool.
Right? I want one with a winch on it so it'll suck my balls into my body whenever I'm riding a bicycle.
Yeah, whenever you need to feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
it'll put something over your balls like a Corvette like raises its fucking roof. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry.
No worries. Shall we?
Yeah.
So, as I said, Percy going the bloodletting routine or route of curing his cancer. Surprisingly, it did not work, but this is like one of those weird anachronisms of history where it's just like, wow, electronic music and bloodletting have an overlap. You know what I mean? He'd just be there like fucking around on his theremin and then get up and be like, oh, I'm late for my bloodletting appointment.
Oh, and it's 1945, right? Ish.
It is, yeah, like 1950s, late 1950s.
Right, like the last time that was seriously taken into consideration was 100 years before then.
In New York, somehow.
Wow.
Of course it's in New York, dude. Bloodletting and hooking yourself up to a transistor.
Good cures. Clears the sinuses. Way easy.
Yeah.
So, bloodletting and electronic music existed at the same time. Just fucking weird. Bloodletting, as I said, did not work. Percy continued building his legacy because he probably felt in his bones he was more or less done for real soon. He builds his museum, fills it up with all the good stuff. Little bit of the racism seeps in, and there's exhibits on like, oh, look, how many good composers of history have had blue eyes and blonde hair. And it's like, all right. It's Percy trying to scientifically say something without being a scientist, and it's like this weird awkward wing of his museum.
Yeah, that's why I think one of the best museums is in, where is it, Alabama? The Creationist Museum?
Oh, Lurbalama.
Yeah, that one's one of the best museums you can go to because it shows you fact that a man built a giant ship and put every single creature in the world, 2 of them, then doubled it, and set sail because Jesus was crying. Jesus wasn't even born yet, but he was up there crying.
Travis, you need to remember, when we do this show, you're supposed to make jokes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, that same museum, dinosaurs aren't real, dude.
I know what you're trying to do, and I think that praising God on a podcast like this and being appreciative of everything that God has given us will limit some of our listenership. Let's leave your hardcore conservative religious values out of this.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's me, you know. I just wanted to let you know there's another factual museum out there.
there's two sides
At
to
least
every...
2 of them. At least 2.
Alleluia.
The Grainger Museum and the Creationist Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones you should send your kids to.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck art, fuck science. Percy performed in concert up until 1 year before his death. Somebody asked me how dead this guy got.
How did Percy Grainger, the man with the Ranger, how did he die?
By February 20th, 1961, age 78, the tummy cancer made its way south and gave Percy's prostate a lethal elbow drop from the top rope. Percy shortly succumbed in his pants afterwards in White Plains, New York.
I see what you did there, Cody, but if you do have prostate cancer, I don't know. My father had prostate cancer. He's still alive. He
He's
survived.
still kicking. He's good.
Which is good. But, like, is your last, like, Is that just like a cum? Because like the prostate's very important for.
I don't know how it works. I don't know either.
I had my prostate removed, actually.
Well, Tom, I know you're a man that just you don't like pleasure.
No, I hate pleasure. I like facts.
Yeah. Facts.
I get happy. I don't want people to touch me. Okay.
So, after his death, Percy willed his own skeleton to his museum, where he's his own exhibit somehow.
Amazing.
Creepy. Also, you ready for this? Percy Grainger left behind a mysterious sealed time capsule to be discovered in his museum. He instructed the crate only be opened a full decade after his passing.
Just a decade, bitch.
Just a decade. His musical contemporaries waited with bated breath. What could be inside the box? Artifacts from his early classical efforts? Perhaps a transcription of a long-forgotten folk song? Or maybe even an electronic banger of a track that was too ahead of its time?
Cool. No. That is crusty Kleenex in that box.
The 10th anniversary of Percy's death came, the box was opened, and it was just all of his kink shit that he had stored away, too embarrassed to reveal while he was alive. So all these musical students opened the box, and it was just photos of his wife in bondage, the preferred outfits Percy liked wearing.
My man!
What happened to his wife? Was his wife immediately like, gonna suck someone else's dick? Gonna get my money from the Percy Grainger Museum that
don't
my
know what
husband
happened to
made.
Ella.
Well, this Percy Grainger guy, you emphasized how racist he was. That's
Racist, kinky.
Well, kinky is not a bad thing.
Well, if it involves trying to beat your children, the line's been crossed.
Fictional children.
Yeah, no, beating children is actually the numbers are in. It's not
Focus
good.
came back.
It's not good. Focus came back. They're not into
Focus
it.
came back.
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to use kinky in that way, yes, that's terrible. He's a pedophile, racist, and he probably would have been great friends with Bill Clinton.
Maybe. There you have it. Percy Grainger, a Willy Wonka of oddball music, a vicious mama's boy, a unshaken racist, and an avid fan of kinky bedroom stuff. Rest in grease, you weirdo. And once again, would like to thank Nick Fanili for recommending and assisting with this episode's research. Check him out at faniliusmusic.com, FAGNILLIOUS music.com.
A website where you could find the finest sideburns I've ever seen in my
Nick's
life.
got some okay sideburns, man.
He is a walking demonstration of what manhood should be, and
Yes.
I appreciate him. All jokes aside, thank you very much, Nick.
Nick also writes, as a musician, I love telling fucked up tales about music history, and this is a doozy, as you can tell. So, yes, thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Do you play the theremin? Do you enjoy whips? That's all I gotta know.
It's all Travis has got to know. And the only thing you got to know out there is patreon.com/roastmortemcast. Give us your goddamn money. How many times do I have to say it?
Too many.
So I was just resetting the Roast Mortem Cast arcade machine, and guess what? At the top of the list, Sean Bowring.
High score. Sean
Bowring, top of the list, owns the arcade machine at this point.
Yeah.
There he is. He laughs harder than the rest of you.
Yeah, and it's good to be Sean Beaurain.
Yeah, it is.
It's good to be a guy like that.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to go listen to some Grainger music.
Grainger.
I actually gave it a little listen. I put my ears through it.
He was all right.
It's a pretty good composer. I can't say I didn't hear any of the weird beatless music, but, you know.
There's probably a reason. That's a little bit trickier to get your hands on, but yes.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. And what is the other thing we say?
Thank you, Shane.
Donald Shane.
Dong.
Dong. Shane?
Dong.
Wow.
All right, that's it.
Bye.
Zwick,
Bye.
That's it. That's the episode. It was a quick episode.
It was.
Except for all my pee-pee.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roast Mortem Cast. My name is Tom.
I am Travis.
I will be your Cody for this evening.
Mike is at a birthday party for a white supremacist.
Right. Sorry, hold on a second. I'm hearing like really loud music. Sorry. Redo.
Great. Excellent.
I would love to call Mike a racist again.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to redo that same bit. Zwick, I don't know what. Just cut that off. We're starting the episode again when Travis gets back.
Mulligan.
And it had nothing to do with our performances, so do not make note of that. It has to do with technical difficulties on Travis's end. Probably that his house is on fire.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
What happened, Travis? Is your house on fire?
No, Anna was playing music in the other room, but it was coming out of the bedroom window and over here.
Oh, thank God she wasn't watching
porn. I could actually
porn.
see it picking up, so I just asked her to turn it down a little bit.
You're that type of boyfriend.
Nice one.
Because it doesn't show up if it's a little lower.
A real one throws her computer or Bluetooth speaker out the window.
Mm-hmm. I will never own.
Guy.
All right.
I will never own a
Don't do
Bluetooth
that.
speaker.
I own several Bluetooth speakers.
I'm just so afraid it'll start playing porn. I'll own Bluetooth headsets, but I'll never play a Bluetooth speaker. Because
Cody, you're missing out.
No, because you start playing porn, you're like, why can't I hear the porn coming out of my phone? And then you jack the volume for a speaker that's in your family room, and it's bad.
That happens sometimes when I get into my car and I was watching porn because it automatically starts my Bluetooth automatically starts in my car, and then
It's a huge problem, Tom.
What is it? No, it sounds like this podcast is now Tom featuring two Jeff Foxworthies. Why do you not know how to use technology?
Dude,
It's not that I know how to use it. It's just I leave a connection on that I didn't need on.
Right.
No, I just use it so well that I want everyone to know how well I'm using my technology.
Okay.
That I can see virtual, digital, titties, and intercourse on my phone.
I'm not
That's amazing.
discriminating. It's great. It's a beautiful thing. But what I'm
Oh,
saying
my
is that
God.
you can easily turn your Bluetooth speaker on and off between degenerate masturbatory behavior.
Well, okay.
There's hard lines. You lock the door.
If you're gonna call it that,
You lock
See,
the
Tommy,
door every time you do
You're
that.
calling it degenerate. I call it an art form, expression.
It's definitely an expression.
and I'm a patron of it.
I don't think that those are mutually exclusive. Artwork and degeneracy are one and the same. And I don't think degeneracy necessarily means it's bad. Okay, we all warmed up. Can we do the episode?
Yeah, let's get back to it. Let's
No,
just start.
just leave. We've been doing the episodes.
Fine.
Quick, leave all of that.